A few weeks ahead of the parliamentary elections which Slovakia held just last weekend, secondary school students from the whole of Slovakia chose to live in a different reality. In the course of 4 days, they created a fictive country and made up their own world of politics. These teenagers took on a difficult task to create an ideal country. What would a perfect country according to secondary students look like, and what can creating a fictive country teach us? About all this and more, I spoke to one of the organizers of the event, the young 18-year-old Tomáš Morochovič, a secondary school student from eastern Slovakia.
Fictive Country is a traditional project organized by the Secondary School Student Union of Slovakia, or SUS. It is aimed at students who like poetology, social sciences, and find interest in politics. And they have the possibility to simulate the election process and the working process of a government.
This is the 6th time the Secondary School Union Project of Slovakia, or in short ŠUSKA, organizes or creates a fictive country. This time, 33 students took on the role of high-profile politicians. The process was quite simple. Students came to the recreational area of Duchonka. They were divided into groups and assigned to a certain political ideology to represent. The rest was all up to them. They had to create a political party, come up with a name, logo, program, and an election campaign. Just like in real life, every party had its leader, less dominant personalities, and a background team.
We had, I think, 7 ideologies from the political spectrum, ranging from communists to mild socialists, extreme liberals. We also had some national parties. Another party of note is, for example, the Irish Party, which was the Communist Party, and they were very flamboyant and energetic in the ideology and in the presentation as well, just as you would wait from a Communist Party. We had also democratic parties, for example, Fora and Fauna for Future, which were an environmental right-wing group, as well very successful in elections.
The fictive parties were given a certain amount of problems which they had to tackle. One of the things they were asked to think about was
medical care, which was very expensive, and they had to tackle how they would cut on the costs of the medical care and not to harm the patients and also the investors who would like to invest in the medical care. Another problem was that we had a minority problem. In a part of the country was a minority which wanted autonomy, and they had to deal with it as it was a very good region of our country which had a lot of natural resources, and we couldn't afford to lose it, so they had to tackle with this problem as well.
The young politicians had to first of all analyze the given sector, look at the most problematic areas, and then seek the most cost-effective and beneficial solutions.
They provided a lot of ideas and concepts. For example, a very good idea, in my opinion, was the funding of university studies, as the problem was that in the fictive country we had low quality of universities, and they proposed universities to be paid, but governments would provide loans and scholarships and bursaries to students who would be successful and high achievers at universities.
And just like in any real country, at the end of the election campaign in the fictive country, after 4 days, the country held its fictive elections.
The most successful party was the Socialist Party, which was called the Right Choice. They won the election by, I think, approximately 40%, which is interesting in the face of the recent governmental elections in Slovakia, as the socialists won in them as well.
Interesting how the fictive country almost identically mirrored the outcome in the real elections in Slovakia. Now bear in mind, my respondent, Tomáš Morochovič, is 18 years old, just finishing his secondary studies. We often hear that the young generation today is very passive, does not have many interests, or in fact is becoming glued to their PC and the internet. And now Tomáš is telling me a very different story of his peers, young, enthusiastic and creative people who are creating their own fictive country. So what are young people today really like? And are they interested in what is going on in the real country of Slovakia?
I think that the interest of young people in politics is very strong today. A lot of people talk about politics on the internet, on various social networking sites, and I think it is a false idea that young people aren't interested in politics. I think they really want to take part in politics and want to bring a change and want to propose new ideas. And I think students or young people generally are a voice that we should listen to.
I had a very good time over here. I met so many people that are very interesting and different from me, and we could talk about politics, and afterwards we had fun playing some games.
I pick up many new friends and new skills. I pick up my prize for the most intelligent student in this part of students.
I have never heard about Fiktívnej krajine before, and I'm very glad that I could came because we had some serious stuff to do. We had many workshops where I learned a lot of things about politics, and I was able to make a certificate about politics so I can use this for a university.
It helped me a lot in my personal development, and it showed me that even if I am just from a small town in the eastern part of Slovakia, I can make a change and achieve big things in my life.
Say some of the participants of the fictive country, giving me their reasons as to why they came to the fictive country. So the fictive country is actually a new, less mentoring and more playful way of learning about different topics and politics, but most of all, learning how to discuss various issues and reach compromises with people of different opinions and views. The 4-day-long fictive country is a unique and one-of-a-kind Slovak project created for secondary school students by secondary school students. A fact that all of a sudden makes me feel good about the fact that the future of our country is in the hands of the young generation.